All right. Hey, welcome back to the daily grind where gamers find grace. This is your spiritual checkpoint. Here you can rest, reflect, and respawn. I'm Shawn, and this is episode 3. Wow, we made it to the holy number of 3. I can't believe it. This is the last episode. Just kidding. Whether you're a console crusader or a PC prayer warrior, or you just stumbled in from a raid, you're in the right place, I promise you. We have a jam packed show tonight. But if this is your first time, this is a space where prayer meets pixels, faith meets fun, and we grind for grace for real. Today, we've got a packed show, like I said. We've got a special guest, Father Evan Cummings, a Paulist priest and a streamer straight out of New York City. Is that right? Well, he says he's in New York. I'm not sure if he's in the city, but I wrote that in there. Hopefully, he does most of the talking because I want to learn more about him, his priestly vocation, and being a Paulist father, not a Pauline father, which I already made that mistake in the pre show. Also, for the after party, we're going to be playing Duck Duck Goose. Now, guys, this is on Steam. It's free to play. I said Duck Duck Goose. Wow. Third grade can't come out of me. Goose, Goose, Duck. This is a really fun game of deception and whodunit. It's free to play. It's on Steam, so go to your Steam app. We're going to be playing that in the Discord right after the show when we relaunch the stream. So if you're into that kind of thing and you want to hang out with a priest and a lame guy like me and maybe a few others, get in the Discord, put the link in the chat, and go grab yourself Goose Goose Duck. Okay, so stick around. We're going to have a really wonderful show tonight. I'm looking over at Father in the waiting room, and this is going to be fun. We got some real fun and pool party today. Totally different setup than what you guys are used to. And he's waving on the side. And we got a really funny boss battle for you guys, too. But first, patch notes. All right, y'all, it's time to patch the soul. This week's update is all about hope in dry seasons. And speaking of seasons, have you ever played Stardew Valley? Like, this isn't in the script, but I just found out last night, this is in the script, but last night I found out that at the local high-end play place, the Broadway theater, they play place. This McDonald's at the Broadway theater, they have like a Stardew Valley symphony coming through. You might want to check your big city nearby to see if that's hitting the town near you. Apparently, they're doing the entire score from the classic game, which sounds really cool. Everybody who's played that game probably has some of those songs stuck in their head. But let's get back to the show. So, Stardew Valley, you water stuff, you plant, you gift, you try to get somebody to marry you, maybe. You do a little bit of fishing. You rebuild a house, but sometimes it does feel like nothing's happening. Now, I know some of you have modded the game, you cheaters. It probably does make it a lot more fun because you're tired of your crop looking dead. Your villagers probably don't care about you. Your stamina bar is shot, the whole 9 yards. Or maybe you're just trying to figure out what that special somebody in the game, I don't remember the name of mine. I do have her face on my mind. Sorry, to my wife. It's just a game. Or you're trying to figure out what to give them. And if I'm the only person who knows that character that you tried to get to like you and you failed at, well, you guys are lying to yourself. So, but I love you anyway. So life is like that too. The temptation is to quit when things don't seem to be growing in your life. We've talked about in the last 2 episodes of letting God's grace take over. But that reset button is tricky. You can't ghost the whole town like you can in Stardew Valley. The saints knew what we forget, and this is the lesson, is that grace still works in silence. Your crop, you might set them on some sort of timer, right? You wake up every day and you've got the automatic sprinklers going. Well, grace is kind of like that. No analogy is perfect, but grace is kind of like that because God's always working behind the scenes. Hope means showing up even when you feel nothing because your faith knows something. It knows God is at work. And that's what we're called to believe and show up with. The dry seasons aren't dead. They're actually really deep. It's when you're probably growing the most, even if it doesn't seem like it. And if you didn't know, roots go down before the harvest ever comes up. So just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean that it's not happening within your soul. Keep that in mind. So, do you see the Stardew Valley connection there? Did I bridge that gap a little bit on a favorite game? If you're in a spiritual winter or an ardent Lent of the soul, don't rage quit. Water the field. Keep logging in. Spring's on its way. And that's your spiritual patch notes. Now it's your turn. Before I go to the next segment, any Stardew Valley fans out there? Does it not sound cool to go to I mean, it sounds nerdy. My wife's going to be like, no. She's probably in the chat now. She's going to say no. But it would be cool to get a group of friends, gamer friends, and go see that symphony orchestra. And now to your spiritual checkpoint reflection. All right, a little bit of trivia for you guys. Do you guys know whose yesterday's feast was? It was Saint Gregory the Great. Now, his is a very complex story, and it goes way beyond the basic chant we know him for, maybe the Gregorian calendar we know him for. This is a man who left behind wealth and politics, become a monk, yet God brought him back into the public eye. He called him to be a pope. So he tried to leave society, tried to find the peace and the quiet that he wanted his soul for his soul so bad, and God said, no, I'm going to reel you back in. Kind of like Stardew Valley does every now and then. I'm going to reel you back in to maintain those crops. So from his desk, he organized missionaries to spread the gospel across Europe. He reformed church worship, and he cared deeply, deeply for the poor of Rome. Our verse today to reflect on comes from 1 Peter 5:2-3. Tend the flock of God that is in your charge, not by constant constraint, but willingly, not for shameful gain, but eagerly, not as domineering over those in your charge, but being examples to the flock. And this verse perfectly matches Gregory's life when he didn't see himself as a ruler, but as a servant of the servants of God, a title he gave the papacy, if you didn't know, and that continues to this day, the servant of the servants of God. His humility, his discipline, and his pastoral care remind us that true greatness in the church is not found with power, but in service by example. So here's the checkpoint challenge for you guys. Ask yourself, how can I tend the flock that God has given me? Now that's going to look a little bit different for all of us, right? That might mean your family. It might mean your friends or your coworkers or even your online community. All of us have a different way of fitting in there. Especially that online community. And like Gregory, each of us is called to shepherd others with humility, patience, and love. So let's do it. Let's carry that spirit into the rest of this week and into next week. How about that? I want to hear from you guys. This is your opportunity to, again, sound off, friends. What's one thing you've grinded with this week? You grinded with this week and endured that helped you grow, that you might not have seen previously. Like I said, the roots analogy, the roots were growing, even if you didn't see the leaves forming or the harvest coming up to pick. It doesn't have to be epic. It could be resisting road rage. A guy came up and tailed you like he did to me on my way from home, my way from home from work today. Did you get passive aggressive with him, or did you pray for him as he finally passed you by? Could be making it to mass when you really didn't feel like it. We've all done that. Could be watching the show when you could have been playing Elden Ring, really hating your life. Drop it in the chat, and I'm going to read a couple. Let's see if anybody's got anything fun. Saint Waffles, my boy, he says, Stardew Valley music is great, but, dude, I don't know what FFA... Oh, Final Fantasy VIII? Final Fantasy VIII Doom still have the best soundtracks of all time. Okay. Tizo knows it was Saint Gregory the Great yesterday, and what's the patience we speak of? Well, my friend, revisit the show. I know you know what you're talking about. All right, guys, you're awesome. Let's get to the next segment. This is the best one where we get to meet our guest, Father Evan. All right, the cameras work. The whole setup is in motion. Yep, thank you. So today our second player has joined and we're now in co-op mode. Every episode we bring on a guest to talk about what grace means and grinding in their life. And today we've got Father Evan. Hailing from Utah, but not today, hailing from Utah, Father Evan has been a member of the Paulist Fathers for 11 years and a priest for 6 years. That's a lot of school. Since 2022, Father Evan has served in New York City, I did get it right, as a part of the Busted Halo Ministry, the Joy-Filled Media Ministry of the Paulists. He's been streaming on Twitch. If you didn't know, we're going to drop some links in the chat. We're just going to spam it. I want you guys to go follow him. He's on Twitch and he's evangelizing the encounter that we can have with Christ, as well as working on young adult ministry in a box. And I want to hear more about that. Welcome, Father. Did I miss anything there?
I don't think so, but thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you for being here.
The Millennial Catholic is already followed. Thank you.
Awesome. You're getting the notifications. Guys,
I forgot to turn those off.
Well, hopefully it's not too distracting because I'm hoping you get a few dozen followers tonight. But Father Evan is just a really great guy. It's somebody was eyeballing the minute I had the idea to do this show, to get people like him on here to talk about, of course, gaming. That's a common thread here, but also to talk about his responsibilities as a Paulist father and what that doesn't mean, as I learned in the pre-show. So go ahead, Father. Talk about your vocation. I've got plenty of questions to fill the time, but talk to us and tell us about who the Paulist fathers are and who they aren't.
Sure. So the Paulist Fathers, we were founded in 1858 in New York City by servant of God Isaac Hecker. Isaac Hecker and his 4 companions were originally Redemptorist priests. And they were all converts from Protestantism to the Catholic faith, and they were working hard, preaching missions. But at the time, the Redemptorists were serving German-speaking immigrants, and the house was German-speaking, and they primarily did German-speaking missions, and they worked in German parishes. And these 5 guys were like, this is great, but there's this whole country to evangelize. Can we do that? Really just have like an English-speaking house and focus on that. The powers that be within the Redemptorists didn't agree with that, and this led to Isaac Hecker going all the way to Rome, meeting with the Superior General, getting kicked out of the Redemptorists, and then he wound up befriending Cardinal Barnabo, who's head of the Office of Propaganda, and he actually had a couple meetings with Pope Leo, and ultimately was given freedom from his vows as a Redemptorist, along with his companions, so as to establish the Paulist Fathers. So in 1858, we were established, and our mission is to evangelize North America, especially through means of modern technology. Our founder, Hecker, had this great passion of the way that, like, American idealism, American democracy could make you a better Catholic, and being a Catholic could make you a better American. And so we strive to keep that sense of hope and being a part of culture and being integrated, and also bringing the light of the gospel to culture as a part of our mission.
I'm curious, unscripted question here. Am I going to read about that in any of like Father Connor's Founding America series? Are you familiar with his historian work?
I know it exists. I'm afraid that's about all I know. I imagine you will. Hecker was a very influential Catholic in the mid-19th century.
Okay, and this is just before we find the works of people like Cardinal Gibbons coming into the forefront of American evangelization. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, switching gears just a little bit and talking about games. So anybody who has followed me over the last 24 hours, the last 168 hours knows that I did a 24-hour stream. You guys paid for it. Literally, challenged you to 100 subs. We met it, and my wife said, "You need to go and do this now." I was like, "Well, sorry, Jessica, but I'm going to be doing this 24-hour stream." Lo and behold, she got behind it. I didn't think that would happen. Very supportive, and said, Labor Day is coming up. Just go for it. And it was so fun. I lost my mind. It's 24 hours long, and if you want to go back, I think we broke it into 2 streams. But I lost my mind towards the end of it. I was very awake. I was hyped up on adrenaline, but I was laughing uncontrollably at some of the things that you guys were making me do, like not able to use the bathroom and so forth. But Father, you did a 12-hour stream, and you said that I like one-upped you. I don't remember. Those are my words, but you poked at it a little bit.
I just hit 500 followers on my channel, and I had been promising for a while that when we hit that milestone, I'd do a 12-hour stream. and kind of for similar reasons, it's like it's Labor Day weekend. I don't have anything on that Friday. I can do this Friday. I can do this 12-hour stream. And I had toyed with the idea of a 24-hour stream, but then I'm like, no, I'm too old for that. And then lo and behold, here you are doing one, and it's like, oh, I feel one up.
Yeah.
Jokingly, of course.
Yeah, and I don't know how far, I don't know. I actually don't even know your age, but yeah, 39 years old and 7 kids. It was a gift from my wife to just let me go and do the nerdy thing for for a little while. I had some fun. What was your like most memorable moment of your 12-hour stream? Because that's still a grind. That is a
Yeah,
long
no,
time.
I I think honestly, just getting to do Peak with some friends was a pretty big highlight. It was a great way to celebrate the community, and just like hanging out with people for the whole day. I had to my personal challenge was I had to eat MREs as part of it,
That's not
and
so bad. Did you like them?
I'd buy them if I was going camping. They were
Okay.
fine,
Okay.
but
How did you get
visually,
those?
oh, there's surplus stores online.
Okay, okay. So you got the surplus stores one. Okay. I was in
Yeah.
the military. We got a few veterans here in the chat. And some of us, yeah, we got tired of them, but every now and then it's like, you know what? I could go for some there's some funny concoctions that people make. Like one is Ranger pudding. Okay, if you ever do the
Oh yeah,
MREs, okay, you got it. Okay.
I've heard of
The
Ranger
the
pudding. I don't.
crackers and the cocoa. Now you might have to open more than one and find the two, but just a little bit of water, the crackers, crush them up and then put the cocoa in.
Uh,
And that's Ranger pudding. Yeah, there you go.
I still have the crackers.
Oh man, so my family side story is we were in Hurricane Ida. We bought this house 13 days later. The hurricane came in, just
Oh,
ruined everything, man. This is in 2021. And so my kids got to know what an MRE is for months. We lost our kitchen, we lost everything. And
sure.
we were washing dishes out of a small bathroom sink for 9 months.
Oh,
Meanwhile, we had a few really generous people, especially our parish, kind of providing meals and whatnot. But we were going to the National Guard for weeks, like every day, getting as many meals as we could because it's like, well, it's free. My taxes pay for it, right?
hmm
I am in a situation where, I need that. And, just in case I need to keep any of this for next year's hurricane season,
hmm
I really want to have it on hand. So we get past all of the heartache of Hurricane Ida. We get our kitchen back, and we still have like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 boxes of MREs left. So once in a while, with like movie night, on a Friday night with the kids, they're like, "Dad, can we get out the MREs?" And I was like, I'm so proud of you guys. I love that I served in the military. I'm 5th generation Army brat,
Oh
but
wow.
yeah, like it goes way back. And my dad said this to me too. I hope that none of my kids have to join the military. And I respect that, and I echo it. But at the same time, it was cool to know that just in case they do, they'll be okay with what they have to eat occasionally.
They're ready for the food.
Yeah. Okay. So, Father, how did you get into gaming?
I don't know, to be honest. It's always been there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. What's your
yeah.
earliest gaming memory? I always ask that to the guests.
I think it's playing the first Kirby game on the original Game Boy,
Wow.
but like my mom had a Game Boy before I was born. We've had a Super Nintendo in my family since around the time I was born. My dad was always into computers. My mom's parents had a arcade cabinet of Pong at their bar. Like
Wow.
gaming has just always been there in my life. It's
Dang.
it's it's one of those things like where did it come from? I don't know. It's always been there. It's like air.
Did you have siblings?
Yeah, I have an older sibling.
Okay. Did you guys ever argue over games and kind of get them taken away?
No, because we were limited. My parents had a rule that we were only allowed 30 minutes of game time a day.
That's great.
So when you have that rule in place, it's not that bad to look at the clock and go, I only have 10 minutes left. I can wait until then to be able to play the game.
I think my kids might be watching out in the living room. Thank you for the subs, Chizo. That's 2 now. Thank you for the subs. It is September. You can save 30%
Woo!
if you subscribe. So my kids might be watching and they're thinking, "Hey, I
Oh
remember
no.
I remember when my parents would they're probably laughing, remembering when we set that rule 30 minutes a day. And then it turned into 30 minutes on the weekend as they continued to abuse it. And then it turned into like no games at all for a year. We were,
Oh,
and then even while they were not having the games during that year, I hate to embarrass them, but they would sneak it. They would find their way into my office. They would take the
as
Switch, and
kids do.
yeah, and so we're like, oh boy, like I really want this to be something I can do with them and have as those memories, but also there's that line that we have to draw as parents where we say, look, if this is obsessive, if this is compulsive, this is driving bad behavior, we have to say no. Any word of advice to parents out there? We got plenty of parents in the chat. Any word of advice, especially pastorally, on that kind of level of control?
Ooh, I mean, I am no expert when it comes to kids. I'm the younger sibling, so that kind of sticks with you. I think just establishing boundaries and
Yeah.
maintaining clear communication and reinforcing love. It seems obvious always when talking about parenting, but just always reinforcing. It's like, look, I do love you. I do care for you. Um, it's why I'm taking this away. So it can be tough,
And in the meantime, I'm gonna play it.
and
You
I mean,
can't, but
probably
I
don't
can. It's
flaunt
it.
it in their face. That's probably a bad move.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a parent. I don't tend to work with a lot of
Right.
parents of small children, so I don't like get some of that by osmosis. But
But you're hitting on the right thing because in my eyes, I don't want to sit and kind of be a hypocrite. Like, first of all, they can play games when they behave. We got one that just walked in. They're not all supposed to be here. Come here. Come here. While he's here, he's here. Okay, he doesn't want to be on camera, but he's gonna sit in the room, I guess. So I have the same thought is just to share for parents out there where it's like I don't want to be a hypocrite and say, well, you can't play games because, then I go and turn around and be a low key streamer, low effort streamer. But at the same time, how do I talk them through it? Because I do want them to, be able to earn it back and to realize that all media is a responsibility. How do you respond to that, especially as a polished father?
um, I mean, I think I respond to it in two ways. One, that if there's a responsibility, there's also like that means there's a duty to it, and like helping them understand like what role media plays, and as yes, a form of entertainment, but also as a piece of personal expression. That I do think that art can provide. Obviously, not every game is art, but you know, helping to see things more critically and be like, oh wow, there's something kind of transcendental at play within this, and kind of teasing that out and saying, is this a good representation or not? And then just also like it in terms of like faith as a Paulus, as evangelizers, like how does this uh share sort of those good elements of faith? Does this show friendships where people are working together, collaborating to achieve a good end, or are these characters just constantly bickering with each other and
Right.
terrible?
Right. Is it a good example, or even like some of the fighting games? Like, I think that's really where my kids kind of started to devolve is, I hate to say Smash, but Smash became like
Every Smash player is salty.
right, exactly. And but it wasn't just like, hey, you're beating me really bad, or hey, he's better because he plays more. Or he used his whole 30 minutes to do just that. And we'd like hear these things as parents, but at the same time, we I loved it whenever my kids were doing games that were had high quality, like you said, art, but also that artful side was very very expressive on teaching, and we could
Mhm.
use it as a tool around the house, not just like we did Game Builder Garage. We let our kids play that through. That was cool. We did Big Brain Academy. That was really funny and cool. But even things like Pokemon, just learning how to kind of grind through things and kind of creating the analogies. I like that kind of thing. So,
Mhm. Well,
oh,
and St. John Paul II praised Pokemon because of the way it taught friendships.
oh, we are gonna find that quote.
Oh,
I
did
didn't
you
know
not know
that.
that quote?
No,
Oh
but
my gosh. Yeah, no, that's a
I
really
I think we have an idea for like one of our higher tier emotes now as maybe John Paul II and Pikachu or something. That'd be cool.
can Pikachu have a Zuchetto, please?
Right. And we need to answer some theological questions like I don't know if K-Max. Yeah, K-Max is in the chat. He says you don't know that
Mhm.
quote. I mean, do you know that quote, K-Max? But I think that he would say, I think K-Max's first initial reaction would be, and this is ribbing on him a little bit, because he always keeps bringing this up from Jimmy Akin's Weird World, is is should we baptize Pokemon? What do you say, Father?
Well, okay, are we
It's
talking
a waste
individual
of time to talk about it.
Are we talking individual Pokemon or like the franchise concept of Pokemon? Because if it's the franchise concept, like, yeah, like I think the created things can give glory to God. Individual Pokemon, probably not.
Right. No, they're
Maybe
not made in the
Mewtwo.
image of God. There's not a redemption there to have. Okay. All right. So I want to get a little further down the line because we got quick fire co-op coming up where you're going to answer questions. But what is your favorite game right now?
Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Okay. Tell us about that game. I think I've heard of this. I think we heard of this last week, and I'm
Oh.
blanking on exactly.
Yeah, so it's a pretty new RPG. Just came out this year, and I just started it on my stream about a month ago. And I don't know the full story yet, and I really am enjoying exploring that. But the general idea is that there is this paintress who controls this number, and as the number goes down, if that's your age, you disappear. And so there's people trying to go out and stop the paintress so that people can have a better future. Well, the number's down to 33. You know, the oldest you can be in the city is 33 now. And so trying to stop that. And there's a lot going on. And it's a beautiful game visually and acoustically. And I think it's exploring a lot of interesting themes around death. Like, honestly, the whole opening scene is an incredibly powerful memento mori, and beautifully done. Do be forewarned, it uses some strong language. It is rated M for a reason. But, I enjoy it a lot.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait to find that on your stream. We want that put back in the chat just for anybody who is coming in since we introduced Father Evan Cummings. He's a Paulist father from New York City. Tell us about Busted Halo just a little bit.
Yeah, so Busted Halo was started 25 years ago this coming year. So we're getting ready for its big birthday. Our tagline is faith shared joyfully. So we're largely an editorial website that's sharing lived experiences of faith in a way that other people can read it and, not just go, oh, that's nice, but be like, oh, I can emulate that. I can incorporate that. I can use that. And so we make videos and articles. We have a radio show on Sirius Satellite that's been going on for 20 years now, hosted by my boss, Father Dave Dwyer.
Yeah.
I've
seen his name.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah, with Busted Halo. Okay, making the connection. It's been a second since
it's all fitting together.
Yeah, like Tetris. Okay. Now, I've got a question for you. Since most of these religious organizations, religious orders, maybe have tertiary, is there any way that the laity can be involved with things like Busted Halo or the Paulist Fathers?
Yeah, so I mean, with Busted Halo, it's not necessarily run like an order. It's just like following the website, listening to the radio show, following my stream, that sort of thing. Right. We do have a Facebook page that's very active, particularly the Halo Repair Crew, as we call it, it's the monthly donors.
That's awesome.
Within the Paulists, we do have, it's not a third order technically, but what we call it is the Paulist affiliates. And laity are invited to join us spiritually in our mission, following the example and the charism of Isaac Hecker, and to share that with where they are. So we actually have about 200 of them around the country.
Wow. Okay. And before we get off with you tonight, I want to make sure that we get any information in there so that the laity might be able to ponder those and maybe consider that as part of their vocational challenges to themselves, or just maybe find something that they might be able to explore as laity. That sounds really cool. Okay, so is there any projects of yours other than streaming? And tell us about your schedule. Just talk to us about what you do, what you're planning to do, as we drop those links in the chat again.
Yeah. So I stream 4 days a week, Monday to Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Every day?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I get to do this as a full-time job. It's awesome.
Ugh.
So Mondays is RPGs. So right now that's Clair Obscur. Tuesday, hey, Mrs. Magician, thank you for the follow. Tuesdays we do spiritual or faith-based games. So I just played one that's a demo for an upcoming game called The Anointed. It's kind of a third-person action RPG around the life of David.
Wow.
It had some rough edges, but it showed potential. Wednesdays, I always do Minecraft, midweek Minecraft. Just finished building an observatory, but we've built a basilica and an opera house. We're planning to do a greenhouse next. And then Thursdays is Throwback Thursdays. We just played Donkey Kong Country 1 today from start to finish. It was a lot of fun. Love that game.
Whoa,
Playing
is that hard?
DKC2 next week. No, well,
Oh.
not for me. The Donkey Kong Country series is my favorite. Donkey Kong Country 2 is legit my favorite game of all time.
Okay.
So
Now you're talking about the old Donkey Kong, like the arcade style, not Donkey Kong Country.
No, Donkey Kong Country, like for the Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I need to go back and check out that VOD because my wife is like, to me, the Donkey Kong master. She has some of those early levels like memorized from her childhood, and she hates modern games because she's like, what, why? And she didn't know that she was a platforming fan. She's like, why is everything like got to be 3D? Why you got to have this open world concept? Like, just give me my, the what are those alligator?
2D, give me some flat things to run on, and I'm
Exactly.
good to go.
So,
I get it.
Yeah, I got to go check that out and say, hey, Jessica, do you think you might be able to maybe make a competition here and
let's
see how,
race.
yeah, exactly.
We're gonna do a race.
Oh, she's probably corralling the kids right now. She's trying to catch the show. Okay, are you ready for quick fire co-op?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so this is the part. Easy. It's quick fire questions. I don't want you to think at all about these.
Okay, the answer is yes.
You can
I love
think a
doing that
little
to
bit.
people. They start asking me a question, I just cut them off and say yes.
Yes. I usually say no. That's what I do when I'm
That also works. Or 11. You just give them a number.
Exactly. 12. Okay, here we go. Favorite game all time.
Donkey Kong Country 2.
Okay. Favorite console all time.
Super Nintendo.
Now, what's the best console of all time in your opinion?
Super Nintendo.
Okay. Word you constantly misspell. Everybody has one. While you think of that, mine is.
I'm trying. Like, I feel like I know I have one, but I'm like trying to remember what it is.
Mine is judgment. I hate that there's not an E in judgment. Like every other ment, like movement, has it, but judge has an E and it doesn't get it. Like, why does that word have so much discrimination against it? So much judgment against it. Okay, what's the word you misspell?
I don't know. It's probably something involving just like how I type, honestly.
Sure.
And just I type too fast.
You'll know it. You next time you misspell it, you'll say, "Dang it, that was the one."
I'll send it to you in Discord. I'll be like, Shawn, it's this.
Okay, in an RPG, your chosen character type.
Rogue.
Okay, what do you think of Paul Blart Mall Cop?
Never seen it. Memes are funny.
Well, he's a good Catholic. I had to throw something weird in there. Perfect gaming evening in as few words as possible.
Hop tea, Donkey Kong Country 2, beanbag.
Nice. Okay. What should I, Sean McAfee, wear to work tomorrow?
Donkey Kong Country 2. I mean, Hawaiian shirt.
If I can get a DK2 shirt, I will.
Can you get a DKC2 Hawaiian shirt? That would be amazing.
I'll check it out. I know that at GameStop they have like some crazy shirts right now. How do you like your eggs? Comes from the Discord.
Sunny side up.
Sunny side up. How do you like your liturgy?
Beautiful.
Awesome. Where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/FatherEvansCSP.
Okay, we're going to put that in the chat. And the reason everybody should go follow you right now, open you in a separate tab, click away from the show if you need to, go and hang out with you. Why should they do that?
I don't know. I think I'm a pretty funny dude and I'm a priest. That's the best I got.
That's the easiest way to say it.
I just hit 500 on my channel, and I don't know where y'all are coming from. I love that you're here, but
500's hard to reach. I thought that first little 100 was going to be tough, but getting to that 500 stretch was pretty tough. We seem to be on the uptick lately here at This Catholic, so I'm hoping that you get your next 1,000 much quicker than you get your first 500.
I mean, I feel between each 100, it's gotten closer and closer, which is exciting. So
I was going to make a joke about what's between each 100, and I don't have a great answer to it. I don't have the punchline to the
Chizo
joke.
has just gifted 10 subs to my channel. Thank you, Chizo.
What? Chizo?
I have no idea who that's to. I can't see that right now.
Well, he's a great and generous man, and he's got some cool
is
kids
a
too.
Human being.
Okay, you ready for boss battle? Ready for the fun to be
this.
over? Okay, get out your skills.
Roll a one.
Okay, it's time for boss battle. We put our guest to the test every week. And so here's the game, Father. This is called Saint or Sussy Sayings. Saint, Saint
Okay.
or Sussy Sayings. Father, I'll give you a quote, and you decide if it's a saint quote. Maybe you know them all, maybe you don't. Apparently, K-Max knows all the Pope John Paul II quotes.
But here's the thing. There are saints like Moses the Black who could have said something before their conversion.
Hey.
So who knows? Maybe it's both.
We don't know. We don't know. So you're going to guess.
I hope you know you're the one who wrote this.
I did, and I double checked them just to be sure. But you know, sometimes like last week, maybe there's a skew in the answers. Who knows? So you're going to decide if it's a saint quote. You're going to say saint, or if it's sussy, say sussy. Okay. Chat. Your bits and your subs are live as they are every time. If you want to bless our guests, by the way, Father, you start out with 10 batteries. I don't know if you see them on your screen by now, but you got to keep your console charged. Now, chat, your bits and your subs are live. If you want to bless our wonderful guest, who is a priest, then you can cheer him on with 100 bits. For 100 bits, every 100 bits, he gets a battery. It can be right now. It can be right at the end. It can be right in the middle. You can cheer him on. For a sub, he gets 5 batteries. Or if you want to damn him, then you can give him damn bits. 1 battery is 100 bits, and 5 dead batteries, I take those away, is a sub. So bits must come with either blessed in the message or damned in the message. Does that all make sense, Father?
Why would you give them this power?
Yep, because I love the money. No, I want to make it interesting for you. I want to make it interesting
it's
for
crowd
you.
Control. It's crowd control is what it is.
It is, and it makes it very unfair if it's somebody like Taylor Schroll and they're like, this is absurd. Let's just get him down to 0 batteries. Now, nobody has had 0 batteries yet, and I'm hoping maybe today I've made a good challenging adventure for you. Are you ready?
Speed run to 0. Let's go.
Okay. It's better to be a child of God than king of the world.
That's a saint.
Saint. That's Saint Aloysius Gonzaga.
I was gonna say that if that's sus, I don't know what's not.
Do you know any good Gonzaga trivia? Other than they're bad at basketball? Just kidding. They're actually really good.
He's patron saint of altar servers, and I've been to his tomb.
Yeah, in Rome. Yep. And
Yeah.
do you know who is next to his tomb?
I don't remember. It's been a while.
His confessor, Saint Robert Bellarmine, is right next to him, right in the chapel across from him. I didn't plan on saying this. I just know I missed my calling, Father Evan, in life. I should have been a tour guide. I could die.
It's never too late. You know.
It's never. I'm waiting for retirement, and then maybe we go do that. Okay, Next one. You don't get a battery, by the way. You just survive. Do not cast thy brother into the void.
Sus.
Do not cast thy brother into the void. You say sus?
It's the fact that it's the word void is what's kind of making me go, this is not a saint line, but something else.
So this is sussy, and it's not really a quote, but it should be the 11th commandment for for Super Smash Brothers. I almost said Saint Smash Brothers. Now, you might have heard this one in a video game. Pray, hope, and don't worry.
Well, I feel like you saying I've probably heard it in a video game tells me it's sus, and I don't know where it's from. I've not heard that.
Oh, I threw you off. I'm so unfair. That is Saint Padre Pio. Pray, hope, and don't worry. That is actually my confirmation saint. Who's your confirmation saint?
Saint Ferdinand III of Castile.
Whoa, man, we got to learn more about him. Another episode. Okay, blessed are the cracked, for they let light in.
Sus?
Totally sus. It's more like Hobby Lobby decor than gospel. Blessed are the cracked. I got to get that back here. That would be funny. Be who God made you to be, and you'll set the world on fire.
Well, I thought that quote was going in a different direction for a moment. That is a saint quote. Uh, well, I is it? Well, I
Extra
mean,
points. I'll give you a battery if you can tell me who.
I want to say that was Benedict the 16th.
Nope.
Because no,
Nope.
but who? Okay, who was it?
I mean,
Maybe
somebody, he
was.
might have said something like that. That's St.
Yeah, he may have
Catherine of
quoted.
Siena.
Okay, because I thought for a moment it was going to go. I have St. Francis de Sales on my water bottle, and it says, "Be who you are and be that well."
Ah, yeah. He has
And so when you
so many
started that sentence,
quotes.
I'm like, aha, I have the answer. Well, I still got the answer right, but
Okay. I punched a heretic once for Jesus.
well, that is a questionable, disputed event of St. Nicholas. And if it did happen, he apologized because it really was an unchristian thing to do anyway. So I'm going to say sus.
Yep, sus. It's funny and reminiscent of St. Nicholas, but nope. Funny thing is that story does appear in Butler's Lives of the Saints, but Butler, I don't know anybody out there who's read Butler. Obviously, an authority on the Lives of the Saints and the the Acta Sancti, but he is known for just creaming these stories sometimes. Even if it's like pretty legitimate, like most people say it happened. He's like, yeah, we don't have anything on that. And then he moves on.
Yeah. I have a copy of that from like the 19th century, I think. If it's the one I'm thinking, and it's like a
The
book of the
four
Lives of
part,
Saints. It's like this thick,
the four.
and I
Okay.
don't remember where it is. So I was looking around to see if is it on that bookshelf? Is it on that bookshelf? No, it must be somewhere upstairs.
So I have the four volume set, and it's really great because it goes throughout the year. But the one thing is, I got it at a discounted rate, and I didn't think anything was going to be wrong with it. The spine is printed upside down from the print on one of those books, so it's like they're all
that
lined
is
up in the cabinet that
mind-numbing.
way. And if I ever say, "Hey, I'm reading," you're like, "No, you're not reading. That's upside down." No, I am.
I thought you were going to say that you bought the 4 volume, and it turns out it was a 5 volume.
That'd be awful. Well, they could probably add Saints to it. I mean, definitely they should. There should be an update to it because it is pretty old. Okay, he who sings prays twice.
That is a saint quote. That is Augustine.
Well, boom! I'm giving you a battery for getting it so correct. Good job. Jesus, take the wheel.
Hashtag motto of my life, but it's pretty sus.
Carrie Underwood, not a church father. Okay, holiness is possible.
Ooh, now that's tricky because I could absolutely see a saint saying that because, it is. But is it a saint quote? This is a good fake. I'm going to go with saint.
Okay, you lose a battery.
Oh, but you could totally see a saint saying that.
Nope, I get it. That's why I put it in here.
Yeah.
Little bit sissy, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Okay,
holiness is achievable.
it is. It's possible.
All with the grace of God.
If you are what oh boy. If you are what you should be, you will set the world on fire.
This is too close to that other quote, so I'm going to say sus.
It's actually not. So she said it 2 places in her diary, and
wow,
it is St. Catherine again. She was just a holy pyromancer.
She liked that line.
Yeah, and obviously a devotee. She was, if folks don't know, she was a third order, a tertiary lay Dominican like me. And the world on fire quote seems to be pretty frequent and flagrant amongst our kind. So nice job. You're at 9 batteries. Is anybody going to bless him? Any bits? Anybody want to damn him? Let's see how good he's doing. He's actually rocking these. Okay. Actually, oh my gosh, the next quote is, "Nice run, Father. Did you like the game?"
That's pretty sus. That not a saint at all.
Not a saint. That's Shawn right here. No. Okay.
That was fun.
Chat, did you guys have some fun there? I'm going to read through here. Looks like Proot's here. Jesus, take the wheel. Yeah. Okay.
Could I put that on my coat of arms?
Yeah.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Whenever you're a bishop.
What's wheel in Latin? I forget.
I'm trying to think of what it is in Italian, because then I would trigger the Latin. I don't know. I'm not thinking right. I'm thinking follow the script, Shawn. And so next on the script is everybody's favorite. It's poll party. Let's go. And Father, hey, look, so this is the last time that they're going to see your face. You're going to stay with us in Pool Party, though. Tell them again where to find you and say it slowly so that they can jot it down in their memory. And let's load up the chat with those links. There we go.
Yep, you can find them in chat, but if you're listening, it's twitch.tv/Father Evan CSP. That's FREVAN CSP.
Nice. Okay, let's go to Pool Party. Do they have pool parties in heaven?
Heaven is one big pool.
Okay, this one is going to be a little bit different, guys. So this is Poll Party. It's your chance to vote, kind of do what we just did. Now, the last two poll parties, the only two poll parties so far, we're on episode 3, had us looking at right and wrong answers. I would do trivia and you guys would answer with 2 different questions, but this time we're actually going to mix it up. We're going to have different options each time, so pay attention to I'm saying pay attention to the question and then also look at the chat. Our lovely and helpful mod is going to be putting in the correct spelling just in case you're confused at all. But this shouldn't. If you can spell holy water, if you can spell sword, if you can spell wolf, you're going to be okay. Okay, so here's the game. Heavenly loadouts. I'm going to give you 2 options after a prompt, and you vote in your own way which heavenly loadout you'd like to equip IRL. Okay, so rather than the usual trivia, let's see how you want to fare in a spiritual battle or maybe a real battle. I have some funny ones thrown in here, so be funny. And don't worry if you choose rosary every time. This is not right or wrong. This is just for fun, so drop your picks with the hashtags. Now, do remember, as we go through this, that your hashtags, it's just that vote. So it's just your hashtag. If you have an extra comment, it's not going to pick up on it. And we actually have improved the poll party here. We are going to have a counter. So we're going to see how many of you have voted and not going to have your name or anything like that. We're going to see how many of you have voted. So that'll make some of this pretty fun. Is everybody ready? All right, let's start up that timer. Your enemy surrounds you with flaming pitchforks, rosary beads, or holy water. You'll do hashtag rosary or hashtag holy water. Your enemy surrounds you with a flaming pitchfork, rosary beads, hashtag rosary, or holy water, hashtag holy water. What do you guys say? Your enemy surrounds you with pitchfork. We got 3 votes for rosary. We got a bunch of holy water. Now remember, it's a flaming pitchfork. I mean, you might want to put out that flame. You might want to remember everything you learned in my book, Compendium of Sacramentals, all the wonderful things that holy water does, and also practically.
I have that wonderful book.
Thank you also for that. You show it off whenever I enter your chat, and I really appreciate that. That is so. Did you like it?
I do.
It's beautiful.
It's really well put together.
Thank you. Yeah, I credit the editor, but I did work really hard on that, I promise. Okay, we got holy water coming in with 10 seconds left as the majority. They're surrounding you with pitchforks. What do you guys think? All right, that means we got 9 voters. That's awesome. Hopefully that goes up to 900 in the future or something. That'll be a wild podcast to control. Okay, holy water it is. That's awesome. Here's the next one. We can reset the poll and start the timer. The evil judges and kings of the Old Testament sit in council on ways to enslave you. Do you go with St. Michael's sword, hashtag sword, or do you go with St. Joseph's hammer, hashtag hammer? The evil judges and kings of the Old Testament sit in council on ways to enslave you. St. Michael's sword, hashtag sword, or St. Joseph's hammer, hashtag hammer. Oh, and hammer is taking it away. Man, hammer of heretics. Why do we call St. Joseph the hammer of heretics? Father.
I don't know the particular history of that title.
Yeah, me neither. That is homework for Shawnee Doodle.
You're the author. I'm the one who chose hammer because Saint Marina, also known as Margaret of Antioch, chased the devil out of her town with a hammer.
That's awesome.
Never underestimate the power of a godly woman with a hammer.
Yeah, and wives out there, please do not take notes on that. All right, hammer. St. Joseph's hammer takes it away when the evil judges and the kings of the Old Testament sit and counsel ways to enslave you. St. Joseph's hammer is there to rescue you. Okay, this next one's pretty fun, and I know he's in chat. Reset the poll, please. K-Max wants you to play Final Fantasy 14. Do you go to the confession booth for playing? Hashtag confession. Or do you go to Holy Water Super Soaker? Hashtag Splash Zone. Don't do that. I'm not giving you license to put holy water in the Super Soaker. K-Max, our wonderful friend, he's going to be a guest on the show in so many weeks. Don't worry, K-Max, your vote is your chance is coming. He wants you to play Final Fantasy 14. Do you go to the confession booth because you played with him? Hashtag confession. Or do you go with a holy water Super Soaker and say, no way? Hashtag Splash Zone. We got a lot of hashtag splash zones out there. Now, I have not played this game, but K-Max raves about it. Look at K-Max. He said splash zone too. My wife, this Catholic wife, she says confessions. She would join him in a wonderful game of Final Fantasy 14. All right, K-Max, we love you, man. Running jokes go a long way in game shows. Okay, next one. We're restarting the timer. The feels of a long day at work has you crippled emotionally. Do you go for Gregorian chant, hashtag chant, or lo-fi Catholic beats? Hashtag lo-fi. I had a long day at work. Oh my gosh, nobody was there. I was the only one there because, well, I'm not going to say everything why, but it was pretty lonely. And I came home. I sat in my beanbag. I think I fell asleep for a good 20 minutes. Didn't even think. Didn't have a thought. I don't think I dreamed. And I woke up and I was so refreshed. Feels of a long day at work has you emotionally crippled. Hashtag chant for Gregorian chant or lo-fi Catholic beats. Hashtag lo-fi. What do you say, Father?
The lo-fi.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Lo-fi has most of the votes right now. Sounds
I like a good chant, don't get me wrong, but if I'm gonna just chill out in a beanbag, it's the
I
lo-fi.
want to know what Kmart voted because he's a lector, and he has an amazing voice for anybody who was here in New Orleans for Game Week a couple years back. He did really good. I want to know what he chose. You can put it there in chat, or you can unmute yourself, Joe. Tell us what you did. He's running the behind the scenes. He's doing all this work with me.
I actually didn't vote because I'm looking behind the scenes.
We love you. What would have been your pick?
I wasn't even paying attention to the question, but probably chant.
Okay, Kmart, the feels of a long day at work has you crippled emotionally. Do you go for Gregorian chant or lo-fi Catholic beat?
Oh yeah, chant all the way.
All right. You're awesome, buddy. All right. Next,
You too.
Next poll. Jesus asks you to pray with him in Gethsemane. Jesus asks you to pray with him in Gethsemane. 40 days in the desert, you would rather do than be there with Jesus in Gethsemane. That is hashtag desert, or 3 minutes in a cry room because you can't make it and neither could the apostles. Read your own soul on this. Jesus asks you to pray with him in Gethsemane. Would you rather spend 40 days in the desert? Or would you do 3 minutes in the cry room? Hashtag cry room or hashtag desert? Be honest. Be honest. I think I see myself as those apostles falling asleep. I mean, how many times have I done that? That's why we have this show, is I go over my grind list at the end and tell you guys all the reasons I'm going to confession. I'm kidding. We don't reveal that. But that is a constant on there. Looks like everybody is in tune with their soul and they're saying 3 minutes in the cry room. And I guess this could be reviewed as like a challenge now that I'm reading it. Like maybe some people said, in order to go pray with him, would you do 40 days in the desert or would you just cry for 3 minutes in the cry room? Well, everybody, that was a sweep. 8 votes for cry room.
I mean, if the church ain't crying, it's dying.
There you go, right? Wonderful to bring your kids to mass with you. Sit in the front row like we do. Here's the next one. Your mother is about to take away your console. Kids, yet again, if you don't rake the leaves. Your mother is about to take away your console if you don't rake the leaves. Would you go with Padre Pio's bilocation? Hashtag bilocate. Or would you go with Peter and walk on water? Water walk. Hashtag water walk. How would you get out of that situation? I would bilocate. I would do what Mom wants, and I would try to play my video games. Looks like everybody is catching on to that. Nobody would want to walk on water or try to escape Mom's wrath. Okay, we got one for water walk. Who was that? That was Chizo. That's a fun one. What would you do, Father?
Oh, I said bilocate.
Ah,
If I could bilocate, think of all the work I could get done.
right? Think of all the fun you could have, too.
No, I'm not even thinking that far ahead.
All right, get an assistant. All right, here's one of the last ones. I've lost count. I should number these, but here we go. Zealous atheist once again tries to argue with you online. Do you go with the scapular under the hoodie or the crucifix necklace? Hashtag scapular or hashtag necklace. A zealous atheist once again hits you up in the chat and says, I'm going to pick a fight with you. Do you go with the scapular under your hoodie? Or do you go with the crucifix necklace on your chest? What do you guys think? Most people are saying necklace. No brown scapulars? No white scapulars? I should go get mine. You actually have to have permission to wear the white scapular. Did you know that, Father?
I did.
Yep. As a tertiary, you have to make at least temporary promises to the Dominican order. 4 pillars. Preach, study, prayer, and community. Hit me up on the side if you're thinking about finding a local chapter. All right, here's the votes. We got 4 seconds. Most of you are going with necklace. Get that crucifix on the chest. They call it a pectoral cross for a reason, right?
I don't think those are necessarily the same thing.
No, it's not. That's an old joke. And 3 votes for scapular. Good job, guys. Okay, guys, the atheist is back. Restart the timer. The atheist is back, and he's now, thanks to you, he's open to the promptings of the Holy Spirit. You go with Augustine's preaching, hashtag Augustine, or Jerome roasting heretics. Jerome, hashtag Jerome Burns. That's a fun one if you see the pun in there, Rome Burns. Do you go with Jerome's preaching, Jerome Burns, or do you go with Augustine's preaching, hashtag Augustine? Most people are going with Augustine. They probably don't want to roast this atheist, but, you know, sometimes.
I'll roast someone proverbially, but I don't think I should be roasting someone literally.
Yeah. Well, it was not St. Lawrence. The grill master. All right, we got 7 votes for Augustine, 2 for Jerome, 8 seconds left. My wife, she says Augustine. Of course she has to, because that is our youngest boy, Augustine. We asked him for the longest time, what's your name? And he thinks he's named after his older brother, Jordan. And so we say, what's your name? He says, Jordan, for years now. Now he's only 3 years, but years. Now he finally says Augie. Okay, Augustine wins. Augustine wins. Go ahead.
He's getting there. I don't have children, so I don't experience these sort of discoveries of names. So.
Hey, Mel Tiger enters the chat. Welcome. So,
¿Qué pasa, Mel Tigre?
This next one is really fun. You have to share a room. Oh boy. They do have ladies in the chat. I guess this is during the day. You have to share a room with Shawn McAfee and read his books. Would you rather do a full Stations of the Cross, hashtag Stations, or would you rather do a Mega Man boss gauntlet? Boss battle, hashtag boss battle. You have to share a room with me, for me, and read his books. Would you rather do Stations of the Cross? Now let's make that a little tougher. Would you rather do the living Stations of the Cross? Pantomime it out. Hashtag Stations, or go with a Mega Man boss battle gauntlet. Hashtag boss battle.
Do I get to listen to Wily's castle theme from Mega Man 2 during the boss battle?
Can you hum it?
If so, I mean, that's an easy answer.
Can you hum it?
No, it's a bit too chiptune to really hum.
Yeah. Do you is that your favorite Mega Man?
No, my favorite Mega Man is probably Mega Man 0.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 04.
Okay. My earliest gaming memory is Mega Man 3. Like this game,
Nice.
I just I have thought about the chip tunes, my whole life. And once those virtual kind of consoles became available, I'm like, I got to get on Spotify and like look this stuff up. People mega mixing it and stuff. So fun. But that's Mega Man for you. Okay, so most of the people would rather do Stations of the Cross than share a room with me and read my book. Sorry, guys. You know what? In fact, for that, this isn't a punishment, but I'm just going to spam. I'm just going to spam all the links to my books in the chat. Go and check them out. I do have a dozen books. I have been productive. And you
one
guys.
of those doesn't even have a link.
No, it doesn't.
I'm Catholic. Now what?
It's the way that the Stream Deck breaks up those messages. Yeah, it doesn't work.
I just love though that that's the question.
I'm Catholic. Now what? That is actually my bestseller. Right. Okay. Thank you for humiliating me, guys. Nobody said, "Hey, can I take neither?" Okay. Next one. Last one. Father Evan can't find his breviary. Do you go with Saint Francis and his pet wolf? You're not allowed to show that. I'll show mine. Do you go with Saint?
I'm not on camera. Only you can see this.
Do you go with Saint Francis and his pet wolf, hashtag wolf buddy, or do you go with Saint Anthony finding lost things, hashtag finder? Father Evan can't find his breviary. Have you heard the...
Sure I can. It's right here.
Oh, I know he holds up his phone. I should flash him in. I don't have a way of doing that. Have you heard about like the way that they would check? I don't know. I'm going to butcher this, but have you heard of the way that they check of like the, the holiness of priests when they pass away?
Oh, yeah. No, the brother priests are supposed to make sure that all the ribbons are in the right place.
Yeah. Very good. I'm hoping that my wife, like, I'm laity, but I'm hoping that my wife, whenever I die and she buries me, she's like, yeah, he was doing it. I promise. Wink, wink. Okay. Oh, we got the poll ended, and we have hashtag wolf buddy. Most people would rather be with Saint Francis, or would ask you to go with Saint Francis. Yeah, we got four finders there. Okay, good. How'd you guys do? Did you have fun, Father? Was that fun?
That was a blast.
Okay, I like that. I had to mix it up from hey, is this right or wrong, or can we get a little goofy with some of these? And that was what we did this week. So, chat, tell me, do you guys prefer it in that method, that format, or would you guys rather do the Shawn's always right and giving you guys really hard questions morphology? Tell me in the chat. All right, Father, thank you so much for being on this show. I'll let you have the last word, but I want to remind everybody that Father is going straight to the Discord. We're going to plug that here in the chat right now. If you're not a member of the Discord, click the link, get in there, because we're playing the free-to-play Goose Duck. Right after the show, we're going to relaunch the stream, and we're going to deceive everybody and go through there. Father, I'll let you have their last word. Tell people anything you want.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been great to be here. I don't know. It's 9:00 and my brain is turning off quickly. So I apologize. I don't really have much else to say. So, but again, it's been great to be here, and I wish you the best as the daily grind continues to go.
Thank you. Thank you, Father. Okay, we'll see you in the Discord. Goodbye. Now we're going to get back into the regular set list with All right, we're back. And I think that in the meantime, I think all of my mods have left me as well. Joe, I'm seeing, hey, Martinator, Joe Lerner, he's saying that he had to go for the night. So I think that leaves only me. I hope nothing goes wrong. So this is the grind list. This is me telling you, and your chance to tell anybody what you're grinding this week. Video games, prayer requests, that kind of thing. I'm going to read some in chat. So enter that now, if you will. And I'm going to show you guys a couple fun things that I bought for my birthday. It was last week. Thank you. Happy birthday to me. I don't think I'm an old man. I still feel pretty young. I can go out and run 10 miles if I want to. So I'm doing great. But I'm going to show you some fun things that this old man got from his childhood back off of eBay and elsewhere. We're going to have some fun. So sound off in chat. Tell me what your gamer goals are. Tell me what your spiritual goals are. Just lay it on us so we can pray for you. Okay. So this week, I am sticking with morning prayer. That is a no fail thing for me. And I was on a perfect run streak But unfortunately, I did leave my breviary at home from that 24-hour stream. I did not bring it to work with me, where I always do a little quiet time with the Lord and doing my lauds. I missed it this week. Big whoop. I got it across myself. I consecrated my day to God, and I'm moving on. I'm going to go to confession this Saturday. I hope to see you guys going too. I go as often as I possibly can. I bring my children with me whenever possible, but we also go before Mass sometimes as well. And thank you, Father Bro, for that. I don't think he's in the chat tonight, but that's a gift to go to confession right before Mass. Grinding games. I'm looking forward to finishing the Chibi Robo game. That is such a doggone cute game. I'll be playing that next Wednesday, hopefully finishing it up. And I'm having fun with Peak as well. Father mentioned that he's played Peak. This is where you just climb a mountain and you try not to die. Now, if anybody was watching last night on my regular Wednesday stream, I am pretty bad at it. I cannot believe I watched P. Tony and Father Trekkie get all the way to the wolf's nest. What is it called? The Gehenna or something. They had to get into a volcano. I'm also going to give Balatro a try. That was a gift from Retrocalypse gave me on Steam. Balatro. Apparently it's a card game where you get to do some bluffing and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that. Here's what I've got in front of me. And I wanted to show Mark Liberto. I don't think he's in the chat, but check this out. I've got some really strange controllers that I bought. Look at this N64 controller. So if anybody knows anything about the N64, like, it's controller, some of you hated it, some of you loved it. I was one of the ones who, I think it's cool. I think it's iconic. But they also made, in order to please gamers, some really strange controllers. And this is one of them. This was the answer to everybody's frustrations, apparently. I've never seen it before. This is an NES power controller. This goes to the NES, and it's a turbo controller. So whenever I'm trying to beat Mega Man, which I've never done without save states, this is what I'm going to be trying to use. Plugs right in, and somebody modded it to have not a D-pad, but a little thumbstick to use as the D-pad. Isn't that cool? Got that off of eBay. I don't know if that's one of a kind or something somebody's making. This is a programmable pad. So this is maybe the first Macros controller there ever was. And this goes to the Super. And basically you punch in some codes, like for fighting games or something. You punch in the pattern and then save it. And you can press that button. It saves it. And you can, bust out your fatality or bust out your Hadouken if you're like me and you're like really bad at those kinds of games. So that's cool. Now check out a couple of these games. I'm going to be featuring these on the stream in coming months. But look at that. I got Maverick Hunter X for Mega Man on PSP. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be cool. I got Time Splitters. Apparently a great game I never heard of whenever I had a GameCube. Eternal Darkness. Guys, if we raise some subs, now don't do it now, but we're going to have a pretty good stream in October setting up for Halloween. And this apparently is a mythical game where you plug it in and it actually like does freaky things to your controller and also to your GameCube. It's a little on-light. I'm looking forward to that. Odama. This is a pinball game. Like my oldest son will love this. Gabriel. He loves Japanese culture. He lived there with me. My family lived there with me. Why do I say things the way I say things? This is a pinball game where you do ancient Japanese battles. It's interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. I got Simpsons Hit and Run. Of course, I said not to do it. That wasn't the prompt to do it, but thank you, Chizo, for the 10 gifted subs. This guy is just generous. I hope you have money to feed yourself. Jungle Manager, Dog Rally, Paul of Knights of Columbus, Yuru, can't pronounce the rest of it, Iggy, Dennis, and Infinite Void all get one. Thank you for those gifted subs. And we got Metal Gear Solid, The Twin Snakes. I'm a big fan of the Metal Gear series. Haven't played them in years. I like the espionage-esque, sneaking around and doing things. So I'm looking forward to that. So let's go to the chat. Let's read what you guys are going through. He likes the hard questions. Good. Chizo, that'll be fun. Try Ignatian Prayer for the first time. Okay, that's going to be great. You know what I've always wanted to do is have an Ignatian retreat where I can be totally quiet. Imagine me Imagine me, like they might kick me out. Imagine me being totally quiet, forcing myself into better sleep hygiene so I'm more efficient at work. Okay, Mel. Well, we will keep that in our prayers that you can have the discipline and also the fortitude to do that. That takes a lot of work. Also, maybe some diet. Maybe some diet. But I know you're going to go find all those answers. Always another MC mod pack to work through. Keeping the kids in line as much as I can. I feel you, brother. Those kids love you, though. They're going to appreciate it one day. We got a lurk prayer from Miss Gouda. That's somebody we know. Root. He says, what the heck is that? I've never seen that. I think he's talking about that N64 remote. That's neat, isn't it? Looking forward to maybe being able to play with some of those here on the stream. Got a good capture card, so maybe we can play some N64 games. Guys, that is it for the show. I've got comments. Thanks for watching the daily grind where gamers find grace. This is such a special show. This is a gift to me, really, and hopefully it's a gift to you guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you to all the patrons of the show and those who are ambassadors, telling people to come in here and watch. I want to also give one more thanks to Father Evan for gracing us with his time and for being such a great guest. He's definitely not the last time, so hopefully we can maybe we'll have that speed run competition with my wife one day. That'd be fun. Maybe we can pair that off some way with within the strange world of OBS. We'll once again be putting all of his info just one more time, hopefully, into the chat. I'm going to leave that to you, Father, so you can go and follow him and subscribe to his channel and support what he does. He's a priest. Remember that he works. He works to do this stuff as a Paulist father. So, also, we're going to go be playing Goose Goose Duck. Not Duck Duck Goose, Goose Goose Duck in the Discord immediately after this. We're going to relaunch the stream, and so I hope to see you guys there. Finally, again, thanks to our incredible patrons who support this show financially. This wouldn't be really a production without you. So stay prayed up, stay powered up, and good night. You guys who support the show will be mentioned in the final credits, which are pretty funny. If you guys haven't seen a little bit of the teasers that I do each week, try to detect the difference this week. Good night, holy poggers. See you in the Discord.